Hello, my name's Adriana, and I'm here to talk about the Shifting Paradigm program and the interactive psychology that is a transformative process to really shift our paradigm out of a polarised imprint of positive and negative. What I'm talking about here is actually the balancing and neutralisation of that push and pull dynamic that has been part of our genetic makeup all the way to Neanderthal man at a genetic level. The process to do that is to actually understand how our filters that are really attached to our survival of the fittest value system, our survival consciousness, have screened our reality, and how our learned ego control model or negative control behaviours have actually blocked us from experiencing the truth of our creative force, the liberation of our creative force that is actually the masculine and feminine coming into balance, the male positive attributes with the female, unified and balanced within our personality. When we understand that we are born within our cellular memory with all the characteristics, attributes of not just our own personal individual personality, but also our family, our genetics and our collective consciousness. And our historical memory bank is unravelled like an onion peel relative to our family, cultural, social conditioning, our significant emotional, sexual violent experiences, and the traumas that we've also experienced through our developmental period to 21. As we understand the emotional nature of how our blueprint is unravelled, and we're able to shift from being at the effect to internal root cause, our picture flips. And we understand that we're not victims of life experiences, people, that we actually are within us empowered to be able to transform all of those negative emotions, our fight, flight, stress response, actually back to love, compassion, trust, forgiveness, and actually ultimately completely neutralise our DNA makeup of our push and pull. In other words, our fear for survival to the kill, image-based consciousness that we've collectively acted out of for eons of time. Actually, our program is a lot of fun. In a sense, it's like having a series of emotional epiphanies, where with humour and insight, we can actually see through these filters and control patterns that really have blocked us from experiencing our state of universal love, inner contentment, trust and joy, and to actually that have blocked us too from experiencing that the powerhouse of who we are is actually a state of love and bliss. That's the true essence of our creative force. As we systematically transform through the layers, as we shift our frequency and we dissolve out these filters and layers of self-protection and defence mechanisms, we discover that we actually are an open unified energy system, and spontaneously the universal directives are uptaken at a DNA level that supersede the old prime directives that were based on a pleasure-pain neurological association. The actual energies of the new universal agreements that supersede the old prime directives are the energies of love and bliss. And these energies have actually been stored inherently within us at a DNA cellular level and will naturally uptake as we neutralise and transform the push and pull of our old imprint. The outcome of our program within this paradigm shift as we transform through our entrapment loop that it's been our fear-hate-based paradigm is to actually understand that our individual learning actually impacts on our collective DNA. We've seen many playouts on this planet in our modern world of the negative expressions of this critical mass phenomena, such as drug abuse, drug epidemics, genocide, acts of terrorism, Wall Street corruption. They're the negative expressions of a critical mass phenomenon. What we're talking about is the transformation right down to the DNA level of our individual and collective consciousness, so that we actually create a momentum or a ripple effect for a positive outcome of critical mass that evolves us out of our fear for survival to the kill and all the filters that I've talked about into a state of mind that is universal, where we understand that we are interconnected, that we're not separate, and we can shift those core values into universal love, care, support, trust, and sustainable prosperity, not just for our own personal lives, but for the generations to come. We don't always understand, but our individual mindset and behaviour has a flow-on effect affecting others as well. And in that flow-on effect, we find that we can have a collective phenomena or a critical mass outcome that we know or experience on our planet in many negative ways, such as acts of genocide, acts of terrorism, widespread drug abuse and drug crimes, gang rapes. All of these collective phenomena are because of a ripple effect of a mindset that is actually from a survival-based consciousness to the very kill. What we're aiming to do here is to transform the positive and negative, in other words, in our most extreme expressions of our polarity, into such a depth of unconditional love, universal love, trust, compassion, and joy, that the individual shift then has a ripple effect into a collective shift, what we know as critical mass. Visit our website, shiftingparadigm.com.au.